Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Family Matters with Instructor Mike. I am your host, Instructor Mike, and this episode is about respect. It isn't automatic, it is modeled. Why? Why do parents think they have to earn it too? Well, let's talk about it. Let's take a journey through family dynamics and child development. Let's go. Here we go. So, this is the contents of today's presentation: the myth unveiled, challenging automatic respect and exploring relational responses versus role based guarantees. Two, early childhood lessons: what education teaches us about earning trust through safety, patience, and compassion. Three, parenting as service: understanding parenting as a service role and modeling emotional regulation for children. And then lastly, the science and practice: developmental research and practical scaffolding techniques for building authentic respect. Let's dive into it. All right. Welcome to Family Matters with Instructor Mike. We just don't raise them, we teach them. We're going to challenge these uncomfortable truths about parenting respect and offering a liberating perspective for those ready to evolve as parents, teachers, and caregivers in building authentic relationships with children. Here we go. So let's talk about the myth of automatic respect. Now, there are four tiers of what I call the ecological constructs theory: society, culture, family, and then you. There are societal constructs, cultural constructs, family constructs, and then what you construct. And culture can have expectations within those cultures. And in many cultures, especially in Black and Brown communities, children hear phrases like, "You better respect me. I'm your mama. Or I'm your daddy. Or I brought you into this world." I'll complete that sentence, right? This belief, it creates a belief system where children are expected to automatically give what adults may not have actually earned. And the truth is, respect is a relational response, not a role-based guarantee. Just because you created life doesn't mean you know how to cultivate it. And this is important to be honest with one's self about. The developmental science in this is that children respond to how safe they feel, how patient you are, and whether you truly see them, not just their behavior. So, early childhood education insights: safety first. When a 3-year old enters the classroom, they don't care about your degree or your title. They care about how safe they feel, how patient you are when they cry, and whether you truly see them as individuals, as future adults, right? Earned trust. Children do not automatically give attention or respect. You, as the adult educator, the parent, you earn it through skilled parenting, through scaffolding, through consistency, through compassion. No significant learning occurs without a significant relationship. So, Dr. James Comer is known for saying this: education must be rigorous, education must be relevant, but no significant learning occurs without a significant relationship. And this fundamental principle applies equally in the classroom and at home. So, whether you're an educator or a parent, meaningful connections must be built through trust, understanding, and consistent emotional and skilled support before any significant growth can take place. Parenting as a service role. I love this. We talk about things like servant-based leadership when it comes down to other adults and customers, but why don't we consider this when it comes down to children? So let's have that conversation. Position versus service. You may be the legal guardian and biologically responsible, but love, guidance, and respect are earned through how you show up daily. Accountability and consistency, right? And we're going to talk about that because people talk about responsibility and they talk about accountability, but I want to educate you and give you a perspective on the what you may be missing from accountability and responsibility. Those are end products of some things that you need in the beginning. So we're going to talk about that. But in terms of accountability and consistency, I encourage you to apologize when you mess up and be consistent in your care. Children need predictable and safe responses from their caregivers. Let's look at emotional regulation. Model emotional regulation consistently. Children learn how to manage feelings by watching how you handle your own emotions and reactions. Active listening. Listen to your child's concerns with genuine interest. Their thoughts and feelings matter regardless of their age or developmental stage. The developmental science. Let's get scientific behind this. Let's look at the developmental science behind respect. Attachment theory. John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth shows secure relationships are built, not demanded. Trust develops through consistent, responsive caregiving over time. If we look at emotional construction with Dr. Lisa Feldman Baird and her theory of constructed emotion, she teaches that emotions are constructed. We are not born with emotions, we are born with senses: sight, taste, touch, hearing, and smell. We're not born with our emotions. They are constructed. Children learn safety or fear based on what we teach them to expect. So if they're heavily emotional, we have to ask ourselves, did the environment give them these emotions to be heavily laden with? Let's look at the zone of proximal development. Lev Vygotsky and research shows that children grow best when they are supported, not shamed, silenced, or scared into submission through fear-based control. And let's look at long-term character. Forced respect through fear may get short term obedience, but doesn't build authentic long term character or emotional intelligence. And it for sure does not help them with problem solving skills. So let's scaffold respect at home. Step one, model respect. Let's look at the definition of respect. I encourage you to stop this for a minute and look at the actual definition in the dictionary of respect. What you may find is it says respect, noun, a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by attributes, qualities, achievements, etc. Right? So let's slow that down. A feeling, a feeling. So I'm going to ask you this question. Be honest with yourself. Are you entitled to my feelings? Am I entitled to your feelings? Right? A feeling is a subjective thing that a person is entitled to. They are entitled to how they feel, not how you feel. They're entitled to how they feel. So we must model respect by looking at the definition of that first. It's crazy work to sit here and demand that a child respect you when they need to have self respect first. And what, if anything, are you doing to get the respect that you desire? And we must ask ourselves, why are we forcing our children to have a feeling of like about us because of a thing? Why are we forcing that? Be honest with yourself. So let's model respect first by learning the definition of it, right? Let's look at step two. Let's reinforce this positively. Let's look at step three, adjust for the age. And step four, check our reactions. Model tone. Show what a respectful tone and clear boundaries look like through your daily interactions and communication. Use calm and clear communication, even under stress. You hear me taking a lot of breaths, right? And I'm in pretty good shape, right? But it's important that we breathe and just calm down. You see how my voice is just filled with a lot of breath? That just feels great for me. I hope it feels great for you. Use calm and clear communication, even under stress. Demonstrate how to disagree respectfully and constructively. Show appreciation and gratitude in everyday interactions. No one owes you conversation. You get it, but no one owes you conversation, right? Positive reinforcement. Let's reinforce respectful behavior without using humiliation or shame as teaching tools for children. Acknowledge good choices and respectful behavior immediately. Use natural consequences rather than punitive measures. Let's celebrate progress and effort, not just outcomes. Let's look at age appropriate. Let's adjust expectations for the child's age, background, and current emotional readiness for growth. Let's consider developmental stages and individual temperament. Let's adapt our communication style to the child's comprehension level. Just where are they cognitively? Okay. You're going to hear me talk about a lot of cognitive development theories. Those things are very important. Why is it important to talk about those things? Because you need to know those theories. I often say that you should go to a community college to learn these things, but why wait? You're going to learn them here on this channel because that education is very important, right? And let's be patient with learning curves and setbacks. Let's go. So let's look at fear versus respect, understanding the difference. Fear based control, what does it do? It creates compliance through intimidation and threats, results in temporary obedience without understanding, damages long term trust and emotional security. But if we look at the respectful relationship, it's built on mutual understanding and clear boundaries. It encourages genuine cooperation and internal motivation. It fosters long term character development and trust. The respectful relationship, built on mutual understanding and clear boundaries, encourages genuine cooperation and internal motivation, and it fosters long term character development and trust. So let's parent from presence versus performance, mindful parenting. Check your reactions regularly. One of the things that I would encourage you to do is record yourself. Oh, that's going to be very revealing. Record yourself. When you record yourself and you check your reactions regularly, you'll see it because when you're inside your body, you're not seeing what you're doing. You're not seeing what you're doing. But when you look at that recording, both, audio, visual, or both, it would be better if it was both. And then you take it to someone who will, without shame or criticism, hold you accountable. That's a thing, right? And then when you just see, like, oh my God, I said that. Oh my God, look at my mannerisms. Look at my behavior. Would I want to be led by me if I were a child? See, when you're inside your body, it's hard for you to see that. But when you see it from another perspective, you're like, okay, okay, I see it. I see it. I know why that caged bird sings. I know why they reacted that way. Are you parenting from a place of authentic presence and connection? Or are you performing the role based on expectations and cultural pressure from others? Let's look at presence based parenting. Focus on genuine connection and understanding your child's needs. Respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively to challenging behaviors you may not even understand. Let's prioritize emotional safety, skill building, and trust building in all interactions. Let's look at performance based parenting. Let's focus on how the parenting looks to others rather than the child's well being. React based on cultural expectations rather than the child's individual needs. Prioritizing compliance and appearance over authentic relationship building, right? Performance. Performance based parenting is not fun because how parenting looks to others, especially when they may not be well skilled in child development. You see what I'm saying? This is why it's so important for you that when you're in tune with how children develop, how you perform and your presence just looks totally different. It looks totally strange to someone who's who thrives on making their child perform to make the adults feel good. That's the thing. Cultural expectations, culture can cultivate conflict. It really can, right? Let's look at self reflection. Regularly examine your motivations and your emotional responses. Make your decision based on the child's developmental needs. Where are they in this life? We make it child centered, all about the children and all about the inner child within you, all about you. Let's look at an authentic balance, balance guidance with respect for the child's growing autonomy. What they are able to do for self really matters. Let's go. Let's build self relationships. So let's look at emotional safety first. Children need to feel emotionally safe, if that's even a thing, right? Let's talk about it. We talked about it before with our skill building. Teach them the fix, not necessarily the feel. The emotions, if they are there, they need to make sense. It really needs to make sense. Is this emotion needed to accomplish the skill? Because emotions can take time, they can waste time, right? And sometimes you may not have enough time to be in those feelings. So it's important to help them understand about the feelings if absolutely necessary. But it's also very, 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 very important to teach them how to solve the problem too. They do need to feel safe before they can learn and grow or show respect. They need to feel safe in the mind. We need to create an environment where they can express how they feel, if that's even necessary, express what they sense without fear or harsh judgment or punishment. Consistent response patterns. Develop predictable, calm responses. Like, ask your child this question without shaming yourself or judging yourself. But ask your child this question. Take that deep breath. Take that deep breath. Exhale. Ask your child this question. When I respond to you, how do I sound? Are you afraid of me? And one of the things I love telling children, you are not in trouble. You are not in trouble. The science behind that. We're going to talk about that. You are not in trouble. Why would I say that? Because it calms the brain from being afraid to be wrong, from being afraid to answer. It calms them. This is science, not just my opinion. It's science. When they feel afraid and they are afraid of you, they sense fear. So their body is whatever yes you get from them is a counterfeit yes. And this is according to FBI hostage negotiator, veteran hostage negotiator, Chris Voss. When they are afraid of you, the yes that you get, yeah, but it's a counterfeit yes. It's a yes to get you to stop. They know what you want to hear, and they're going to tell you what you want to hear, but it's not how they really feel. Right? So you're not in trouble. But when I respond to you, am I calm? Is it positive? Ask them that question. Here we go. Develop predictable, calm responses to both positive and challenging behaviors. Children will thrive when they can anticipate how you will react to different situations. If they know that you are going to teach them in a calm manner, a calm manner, then they know they can come to you with anything. They're not afraid to be wrong with you because you're going to guide them towards knowing how to solve the problem. Growth oriented mindset. Carol Dweck, in her wonderful book, The Growth Mindset, focus on teaching and learning rather than punishment. There are so many things that the children need to learn. Who has time to punish? The same time that you have time to punish is the time that you could be practicing the teaching skills and learning developmentally appropriate parenting practices, developmentally appropriate practices, Montessori and Reggio Emilia styled parenting and teaching, building curricula, building things around family and consumer life sciences skills. Who's got time to punish? Every challenging moment is an opportunity to guide your child towards better understanding and emotional regulation skills. So here are some questions for real growth and reflection. Reflect on respect. Do you believe respect is earned even by parents? Why or why not? Consider your own childhood experiences and shape your beliefs about, strike that. Consider how your own childhood experiences can shape your beliefs about authority and respect in family relationships. Did you live in that type of home where you were afraid for asking questions? You were afraid of coming to her with the things that you, or him, or both. You were afraid to come to them for the things that you really wanted answers for, and you kind of felt that I can't go to my mom or my dad. They'll just criticize me. They'll just talk about me. They'll shame me. They'll make me feel bad. And ask yourself, are you doing that with your child? Give yourself grace. It's a repeatable pattern, but you can break it. You can break it if you want to. Let's look at fear versus respect. What's the difference between fear and respect? And how would your child describe you? We just talked about that earlier, didn't we? Ask yourself honestly, Do your children comply out of love and understanding or out of fear of consequences? And how do you even frame that word consequences? If you treat consequences as negative, again, not your fault. It's what you were taught. But if you do it out of fear of consequences, and if you frame consequences as a negative thing, it's time to reframe that. Consequences, by definition, are neither positive nor negative. They are simply what they are. Now, they can be judged as positive or negative, but that depends on how you see positive or negative, good or bad. In the Greek, what is good or what is bad is a subjective assessment. It is up to the person to determine whether it is good or bad. Let's look at training and preparation. If teachers are trained to earn trust, should parenting come with training too? Consider how professional development could enhance your effectiveness as a parent and caregiver in your family. Let's look at relationship versus position, the key difference. Position based authority. John C. Maxwell, leadership guru, in his wonderful book, The 360-Degree Leader, I remember him talking about this. You have certain people who want respect based on the position that they hold. They rely on titles, roles, and hierarchical power structures. They expect automatic obedience without building genuine connection. What does it often result in? Compliance without understanding or growth. But if it's relationship based leadership, it's built on trust. It's built on understanding. It's built on consistent emotional and skill availability. When they come to you, do they trust that you actually know how to help them, that you actually can help them, that you're knowledgeable, skilled, abled, competent, confident, and have the capacity to actually be able to help them? It earns cooperation through empathy and transformational empathy, not performance empathy. Performance empathy is I'm seeing myself in your shoes and I can acknowledge how you were made to feel under the theory of constructed emotion, and I can give kind words. But do kind words transform? Do kind words transform you into the person that can transform yourself? Do kind words help you learn how to solve the problem? They can if those kind words are based in skill and teaching. And that's empathy that's transformative. That's helping you gain agency. Yeah. Creating lasting character development and internal motivation, the desire to want to do for self, the ability to want to do for self. Because it's not just the desire. Do we have the ability to do for self? The courage to change those generational patterns. That really matters. Question what you've learned. It takes courage to examine and question the parenting methods you experienced, recognizing what served you well and what caused you harm. Commit to growth. Choose to teach better rather than simply repeating patterns from your childhood, even when it requires learning new skills and approaches. Build better relationships. Focus on creating the kind of parent child relationship you wish you had experienced, prioritizing connection over control. So, here are some practical steps for earning respect daily. Communication excellence. Transform how you communicate by prioritizing clarity and empathy and age appropriate explanations that actually help children understand expectations and boundaries. Use I statements to express feelings, if even necessary, without blaming or shaming your child. I would even go so far as to say, I would like to help you learn how to solve this problem before we even talk about feelings. Let's not front load our child's brains with feelings. I would like to help you solve this problem. Or, you know what? I don't even know how to fix this, but I would like to take you to someone who I feel can actually help us solve this problem. Would you like to go with me? Come on, let's go. Because you need to know this. Explain the why behind rules and expectations in language they can understand. That's important. You know, that's one of the things that I talk about when I talk about specialists. Sometimes when you learn the nomenclature of the industry that you're in, You learn the language, and we want to use that language so much, and it's important, but you have to explain it the way they learn. I encourage you to look at Professor Nick Winkelman. I hope I said his name right. The language of coaching. The language of coaching. That's important. That's very important. Listen actively to your child's perspective before responding or making decisions. Consistent emotional availability. Let's go back to that. Listening to your child's perspective. I don't want to move past that. Listen to your child's perspective before responding or making decisions. Your child's perspective matters. And if they feel that they are not being heard, then that would encourage them to shut down. I love it when children talk to me. I love it when they give me their perspective. I love it when I try the best that I can to make them comfortable, to help them understand that their voice actually matters. Their voice actually matters. It really does. Consistent emotional availability. Show up emotionally and skillfully for your child in both good times and challenging moments. There's a statement in this culture where they're like, "Well, I'm with you when you're right." And I'm sitting here like, "Well, I'm with you not only when you're right, I'm with you when you're wrong. I'm with you when you're good. I'm with you when you're bad. I'm with you when you're up. I'm with you when you're down. I am with you. I am for the child. The 100 languages are there. Even when you think you have failed yourself, I am here with you to teach you. You can count on me." How is it we as adults want other people to be with us with the good times and with the bad, when we're up and when we're down, when we're legal, when we're illegal, when we're moral, when we're immoral, when we're going through life's ups and downs? We want adults to be there, but we so quickly dismiss the children. Why is that? Jesus said, "Suffer the little children to come unto me, for theirs is the kingdom." Yeah, that matters. Demonstrate that your love and support are unconditional. Maintain calm energy during conflicts, modeling emotional regulation for your child. Celebrate your child's successes and provide comfort during their struggles. Be present and engaged during daily interactions, putting away as many distractions as you can when possible. And boy, do we get into our distractions, don't we? Here we go. The long term impact of respectful parenting, emotional intelligence development. Children raised with respectful parenting develop stronger emotional intelligence, better regulation, self regulation skills, and healthier relationships throughout their lives. They learn to identify, express, and manage their emotions effectively, leading to greater success in personal and professional relationships as they mature. Now, they also need to learn about how to build relationships, because you can have emotional resilience all day, but if you don't understand how to build relationships, yeah, and the context of that relationship building too. So we're going to talk about that on these pages. What are these pages that I'm talking about? Dad, I wish I knew. That's one of my YouTube pages. Okay. Avoiding unnecessary mistakes. That's another one of my YouTube pages. And Family Matters with Instructor Mike. When I share these across all three pages. Why? I hope that somebody in the future gets this stuff, right? I mean, that's one of the things that I've learned is that there's so much content out there on YouTube that if you put that stuff out there, you never know what a person may find and how they may run across it. But this one PowerPoint, there are times as an autodidactic learner, as a person who's self taught and loves to learn, there are times where I've seen information from podcasts and stuff like that on pages that didn't get a lot of views, don't have a lot of followers, but it helped me. Yeah, put that stuff out there. Here we go. Lasting parent child bond. When respect is earned rather than demanded, parent child relationships remain strong into adulthood. And these children are more likely to seek guidance from parents, maintain close family connections, and model healthy relationship patterns in their own families and communities. It takes courage to question what you were taught, but if you're here listening, that means you're ready to teach better, not just repeat what was done to you. And this journey of conscious parenting requires bravery, self reflection, and the willingness to break generational cycles. Every parent who chooses growth over tradition is creating a better future for their children and community. So, your action plan for change. Start with self reflection. Examine your current parenting patterns, triggers, and automatic responses. Identify areas where you may be parenting from position rather than just building genuine relationship with your child. Educate yourself continuously. Invest in learning about child development, emotional intelligence, and respectful parenting approaches. Knowledge empowers you to make informed decisions rather than reactive decisions. Practice new approaches daily. Implement small changes consistently. Focus on trust building and safety in your daily interactions. Remember that lasting change happens through consistent practice over time. I want to thank you for joining us. Family matters, and so does how we teach them. Until next time, this is Instructor Mike, and you've been trained. For more information, go to www.instructormike.com. If you want to email me, you can email me at mike@instructormike.com. Until next time, I'll see you.